Plaintiff Benjamin Tomes met the defendant when he was his high school wrestling coach, and they remained friends. Benjamin claims he rented a house with the defendant, but it was a huge mistake because he not only had wild parties, but he also had loud sex. Benjamin suing for rent and utilities. Defendant Nicholas Grady says after he moved in with Benjamin, he felt like Benjamin idolized him because he was the younger, more attractive one who brought young, attractive people into their home. Nicholas insists Benjamin never acted like the rent was a big deal, so he can't believe he's being sued.
Start with you.
Going back, I've known the defendant for 15 years. We first met, I was actually his high school wrestling coach, then his college coach. We stayed friends after that, and in September 2012, we made the decision to go ahead, and he was moving out to the city where I lived. We decided to split a house. So we found a house to rent, split it, and moved in with each other. It turned
agreement half and half? Or?
Yeah, it's half and half, just splitting everything right in half.
What was that?
It was $11.85 a month.
What was your share?
Would have been exactly half of that. So
would have been. You don't know what you were paying for rent? How long did you stay there?
Bad with math. We were there for. We were together for a year.
And you don't know how much rent it cost per month?
It was $600 a month each. Yeah, so it was just a shade under $600 a month for rent. Sorry.
Were you writing the check?
Well, no. What I did is I wrote out the entire check all the time, and he paid me cash. So my checks were always $11.85.
And how much was he paying you cash every month? You don't remember that?
It was, if I had a calculator, I could tell you immediately.
No, just remember what he was giving you in your hand. You received it for a year. Or maybe you didn't. Perhaps that's why you're suing.
It's been over a year now. So.
Got it. All right. No problem.
Plaintiff Benjamin Tomes rented a house with the defendant, and he claims while living together, he was forced to listen to the defendant have loud sex with multiple women.
So you all had a 50-50 split, and how did that go?
Living with each other did not go well. It started out poorly. My room was located above his, and it was nightly, the craziest sex sounds you could hear ever. It was nonstop. I thought there was a mechanical bull installed in there at one point. Things that would make Caligula blush. And it was frequent. And so that going on for several months. Eventually he picked up a job as a security guard working at a bar. And that kind of basically turned into late nights, bringing the club ending and the party starting at our house. And so it was pretty late, a lot of partying late at night. I had a job, I'd be up early in the morning. I'd come downstairs, it looked like a Civil War battlefield downstairs. There'd be half-dressed ladies downstairs. There'd be peacock feather boas sitting around, sequins everywhere, just madness.
Did you all ever fall out about it?
We talked about it a couple times, and eventually we hit a snowstorm in the winter, and it got kind of progressively worse, and I decided, we need a chance to kind of maybe just go do something and talk about it. We started making a big snowman, and it turned into a snow hoe in our front yard. And kind of give us a chance to talk about it. I actually have pictures of it. I thought it would be funny, a way for us to kind of talk about things. And it just kind of turned into something we get a chance to talk about the things that are going on. And I said, this needs to curb a little bit. And he agreed. And at that point,
the old sex fiend again, huh?
She was beautiful.
Very. It was a masterpiece.
So we talked, we joked around. It gave me a chance to kind of talk about it. He said it would settle down.
Did it?
It did briefly, and that picked up again, and eventually got a lot worse. I picked up a steady girlfriend. She was getting upset with me because there were constant girls at the house.
All right, let me hear from him, sir.
Well, as you said, he's been on me for a long time. Coach, I call him Coach, I don't call him Ben, it's just a habit. When we first moved to that house, yeah, I had people over, but, I felt like our relationship took a turn for the worse because I felt like he was kind of idolizing me. He kind of wanted to live the younger life that I was living. I mean, I'm the younger, more attractive one, so I brought, I
take issue with that, Your Honor.
I brought the young, attractive people over to the house.
You had a bunch of women coming by there, but couldn't pay your rent.
Not not
A
quite.
lot of times I suggest that people focus a little bit more on work than women when they can't meet their financial responsibilities. So, anything else other than you had a bunch of women, you look better, you look better than him, I'm the man, I got them all, I bring them to the house, but I can't pay my rent. Where you work, sir?
I worked at a nightclub.
You worked at the nightclub.
I was a security guard. I was a security officer.
Security guard at the nightclub. Where you work?
I'm a college writing instructor.
College professor.
Sort of, I guess. Yeah, I guess so. It's a two-year
instructor?
It's a two-year college, so I'm an instructor, not a professor. So, slightly different title, same job.
All right. See? Probably didn't have as many girls, but
no, quality over quantity.
He still tried to enjoy, you know, the what was going on at the house. I mean, yeah, I had, you know, women over.
And he pays his rent.
And he paid his rent.
All right. All right.
Plaintiff Benjamin Tomes rented a house with the defendant, and he claims while living together, he was forced to listen to the defendant have loud sex with multiple women.
You tell me how things went.
Basically what was happening was he was just creeping them all out. You know, he'd be at home, you know, 40 years old, in his skinny jeans and skateboard shoes and tight shirts, and, you know, snow white hair, and he'd be, you know, if he wasn't telling stories about his life or something, he was hitting on them. And mind you, he's 40, and these girls are all in their early to mid-20s. You know, so they're like creeping out.
That's a little exaggerated.
That this older guy was trying to hit on him. So they stopped coming to the house. You know, and you know, so
he ran your action away. That's what you're saying.
Pretty much.
He's intimidated by it.
But he had his own action himself, though. You know, like you said, he stayed above stairs from me. And one night I get home from work. You know, I brought friends over, and I go to the bathroom, use the bathroom, and he comes down in a boxing robe. You know, like an old boxing robe of his, and he's like, shh, you know, he's like, oh,
smoker's jacket.
You know,
is what
yeah, there you go.
Go ahead.
And as he's coming down, I'm like, oh, what's going on? What's going on? He's like, just watch, just watch. And there goes two other women coming down after him, two other older women. You know, so I wasn't the only one having all the fun in the house. You know, he had some fun of his own. You know, so I'm thinking, this guy just had a threesome. Like, are you kidding? Like, that's, you know, so we all had fun.
What?
It was phenomenal at the time. It was, you know, everyone, the women that, you know, my friends that were over there, they were beside themselves, and it was high fives going. So obviously that night he was God.
Yeah,
exactly.
To you guys. All right, let's get to the rent you're suing him about.
Things kind of boiled over. There was an altercation at our house. He was dating a stripper. She was over. She had some friends over. My girlfriend finally kind of boiled over, and they got in a physical altercation. And at that point, that was in July of 2013, and that was when the rent kind of stopped being paid. He didn't pay that month. He didn't pay in August. In August, I talked to him about it and said, you know, hey, this is getting to be excessive. You've got 2 months that you haven't paid. And he's like, I'll get it. Don't worry about it. Eventually, we had another talk. He's like, you know, I think this is getting to be too expensive. So we had plans for him to move out at the end of September. But he said he'd pay me what he owed me at that point. Never got it. On the 30th of September, he was getting ready to move out. He actually messaged me, asked if he could stay longer. I said no. He started to go and send me nasty text messages and tell me off for not letting him stay longer. I thought, well, wait, you owe me money, and I should be telling you off. But it didn't go that way.
Utilities a part of that as well, obviously?
Yes, sir. He would pay with lump sums, so he would pay with, he was taking college classes and would use...
Sir, what do you say to the rent and utilities he's suing you for?
I was told, like, you know, that it wasn't a big deal at the time. It was 3 months that I didn't pay the rent, you know, and I was told, like I said, I was told at the time it wasn't a big deal. We were having fun. I feel like now that we haven't really seen each other in a year, we don't really talk that much. Now he's coming after me. You know, for
Is this the first time he's asked for his money?
Oh, it's not the first time, but I mean, there's been long periods of time where it's like, you know, I thought at one point that he didn't care about it.
You thought he didn't care? When did you figure he did?
Obviously, when you
got those papers in the mail.
Yes, sir.
You said, oh, he cares. Do you have any defense now that you know he cares?
I just, man, I thought we were good.
Did he tell you all were good? Did he say you don't have to pay me?
At the time, he said we were good. We were good for the time being. When I was there in July and August, and then in September, I made a plan of action to try to pay him.
And what
back.
happened to that? Did he later tell you can stop paying, or forget your plan?
No, sir.
All right, then you still owe him.
Now I have text messages here, transcripts that kind of highlight some of that he knew very well that he owed me the money, and promises, that he'd pay it back, and it never happened.
Okay, this is September of 13. You owed me $2,000 and chose to quit a full-time job and school and left me with the bill. You dropped out of school, sir?
Yeah, at the time I had dropped off. So I had to move down. I had to move with my mom at the time.
Why?
Because I didn't have a place to stay because I was currently.
Parted your way out?
Yeah, I was currently leaving his house, and so I had to move.
Where were you in college?
Carroll University, the school right around the corner from where we lived.
Right around the corner, very convenient. Walk to class, get your college degree. Instead, you wanted to be a security guard at the nightclub and party your nights away with the women. Then you end up having to go back and live with mama. Textbook example of what young, handsome men should not do with their time.
Plaintiff Benjamin Tomes rented a house with the defendant, and he claims while living together, he was forced to listen to the defendant have loud sex with multiple women.
Hopefully this is a lesson to you to spend your time focusing on making some achievements before you spend all your time on women. You're in college now?
Going back next semester.
Where are you staying? Where will you be staying when you go back?
I reside in Milwaukee now. I've
With
moved
who?
back.
Who are you gonna live with when you go to school? You sound like you're just talking now.
No, I'm with my current girlfriend at the
All
time.
right, you're gonna live with your girlfriend
Yes.
while you go to
Yes, sir.
school. All right.
Yes, sir.
There's no shame in that.
Yes, sir.
All right, see, and that's what you should be bragging about.
Yes, sir.
You're putting your head down like you're ashamed of that. Don't be ashamed of that. Be ashamed of running all these women in and out of the house that you can't pay your rent in that causes you to drop out of school.
Yes, sir.
You should be proud to say, yeah, I'm staying with my lady, and I'm going to go to college from there, and once I finish getting my degree, she and I are going to get married, and she's going to be prosperous. So, judgment for the plaintiff. Have a good day. Good luck to you, young man.
I felt like you enjoyed more than what you let on, but, it is what it is,
Pay me my money.
Have a question about how to collect child support from your ex-spouse? If so, hit me up on my website, askjudgemathis.com.